Hello and welcome to World of the Arts Online. My name is Christopher Litke and I will be teaching this class. If you're looking for underwater basket weaving, you're definitely in the wrong place. So again, my name is Christopher Litke. I teach at UW-Whitewater. I've been here for 4 years. I also teach art and art history, and history really, at Madison College. I've been there for about 8 years. And World of the Arts is a course that I took when I was a student at Whitewater. I scraped by with a C, probably by the good graces of the instructor. Consequently, I am serving purgatory by teaching World of the Arts. This will be the 20th or so iteration of the course. When I'm not teaching, I am doing art and antique appraisal, which is basically disappointing your grandmother because she has something that she thought was very expensive, and I told her that she bought it at Boston store in 1950, or maybe her mother bought it at Boston store at 1950, having broken the original at some point in the past. When I'm not doing these things, I am racing kayaks. That in the upper right was my fleet as of a year ago. Add a few boats and you have my fleet for today. It would be cheaper for a drug habit. So that's me. Let's talk about the course. Let's start with the syllabus. The syllabus is pretty straightforward. It's on D2L. I will show you where in a couple of minutes. And my office hours, I do have office hours on campus from 12:30 to 1:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays in CA 2064. The Center of the Arts is the building on the corner of Prince and Main. There's a course description. It's pretty impressive. The textbook, which should be in textbook rental. Most of this information is pretty straightforward. A couple of things I want to point out. In terms of technology, all assignments must be in PDF, Doc, DocX, or RTF format, just to make everyone's life easier. D2L does not play well with pages. So if you're using an Apple computer, also known as Steve Jobs' Horcrux, then make sure that you are saving as PDF. Also, everything will be delivered through D2L by signing up for the course. It is your responsibility to be familiar with D2L. So unfamiliarity will not be an acceptable excuse for missing or late assignments. Our class runs on a Tuesday to Monday cycle. Basically, everything is due at 11:59 on Monday night. Sometime Monday or Tuesday, I will post a video most weeks for the following week. This includes discussion board posts, responses, and activities. All initial posts for discussions are due by 11:59 on Thursday of the week they are assigned. Initial posts should be at least 150 words. Responses should be at least 75. So make sure that you're adding to that material. Don't just say ditto or my thoughts exactly. In terms of lectures, viewing the lectures is required. They are on YouTube. There's a link in each section. I will show you that shortly. Exams are all take-home essay. They will not be through Respondus or lockdown browser, so you don't have to worry about that. But if your exam is late, you will receive a 0, so make sure that it gets in on time. In terms of academic integrity, don't cheat. That's pretty much what you should take away from this. All assignments will go through Turnitin. That means your paper will be compared to those handed in at UW-Whitewater and about 100,000 other websites. If you are discovering having plagiarized another student or website, you will fail the class and go through an academic misconduct proceeding at the instructor's discretion. You don't want that. It is the sort of thing that shows up on a permanent record and could get you expelled from the university. So please be careful of that. To avoid it, just cite your source. In this class, just give me a link to whatever source you're looking at. In terms of assignments, there's information there. The events we will talk about. There's also a video about it that I have posted. Exams, there will be 3 exams in this class, and those are still being worked out. Extra credit, you can do an extra credit 5th review, which is worth up to 5% of your total grade. So that will be very useful. Grade distribution is laid out here pretty simply. Weekly assignments are 30% of your final grade. Each of them is even. Event reviews are 10% of your final grade each. Exams are 10% of your final grade each. Grading scale, the only important thing is that 93 is an A. Also, I do not worry about hundredths of a point, so a 92.49 and an 89.5 are both an A-. I do round up at the 10th, so that does help some students out. There's a statement regarding religious, sexual, and political content. We will deal with all three. It is not to try and disseminate new religion or try and titillate. It's just the nature of art. We will be discussing religion, politics, sexuality, etc. So they're all elements of the course. If this will be a problem for you, then get in touch with me and we will find a way to deal with it appropriately. And accepting the terms of the course. By continuing in the course, you are acknowledging that you have read and accepted the syllabus. This is also where it says, I get your liver should I ever need one. There's also a very basic schedule. This is the first time teaching World of the Arts online, so this schedule may well change as we move forward. There's a rubric for the reviews, so that may be useful to you, and then the review forms are attached. So that's the syllabus. Now, when we look at the course, we're going to be dealing with D2L. By the way, this is the building that D2L is housed in. It's in Montreal, Canada. If you go to Montreal, you can probably throw a snowball at their window. Although I don't recommend it. I hear the Royal Mounties are kind of mean people. When you get to D2L, you will start here, where it says start here, because I'm not that creative. Here you'll have information about the textbook, the video lectures, and the event reviews. There's an entire video on the event reviews. Of course, those will be an important part of the class. You'll also notice that it's got a bar across the top. That bar is going to be important. It will tell you if you've gotten to everything you need to. And then under start here, there's pre-class assignments. You need to do these before you move on. So there's a quiz. The quiz is on the syllabus, and there is an introductory discussion, which should be fairly self-explanatory. Then we have the syllabus itself, which appears here, both as a doc and a PDF file. And then we have course information, which has nothing, and the approved events, which has a lot of information here. So here's the approved events list. As we look at it, it gives you some basic information, such as where to get your tickets in UC 159 or in the Center of the Arts. And then it runs through the various shows. Now, in terms of reviews, if you're on campus, you will be required for visual arts to go to this reading material course. If you're not on campus, you will have to find a show somewhere, and you will have to get in touch with me so I can approve it. In terms of theater, there's a number of possible shows. Dance, there are only 2, so you're going to need to get your tickets early. Make sure that you get that done. In terms of music, there's a lot of possibilities. Now, when it comes to the events, if you're on campus, it must be from the approved event list. You must have a ticket. You use your Hawk card to get that ticket because your Hawk card has vouchers on it. If you are not on campus or near campus, you will need to find a dance, music, theater, and visual arts show near you. Dance will be the tricky one. I would recommend going to the largest university in the area. They probably have a dance department or will have a dance show coming at some point. Otherwise, you can look at ballet, etc. If you try and use a high school show or a pop music show for one of your reviews, it's not going to work because I won't approve them. That doesn't really fit in the whole concept of what we're doing. I need something that's professional and something that's going to broaden your horizons. So that's the approved events list. And under there as well, we have the vouchers FAQ, which basically tells you about the vouchers. a rubric, which is how I grade the reviews, and then again the review forms. There are things you have to go through before you can get to visual arts, so make sure that you do those. For example, you'll need to do the pre-class quiz and the introduction before you can get to visual arts. Once you get to visual arts, this is how all the chapters, all the sections are going to be laid out. Each of these sections is 1 week. So sculpture and dance is 1 week, music will be 1 week, theater and architecture will be 1 week, the Greeks will be 1 week. Each one, when you enter into it, the first link will be the lecture for that section, except for when I'm covering 2, such as sculpture and dance, where I'll have the lecture, and then the next file will be the PowerPoint. And then again, the lecture for dance and the PowerPoint for dance. Go ahead and print off those PowerPoints, they may be useful. So here's the lecture and the PowerPoint. And then in this case, there's a couple of videos. If I put videos directly under the week, you know that those are videos you're going to need to watch. They're going to turn up either on the exam or a quiz or a discussion post, but they will turn up somewhere. So make sure that you watch them. The David Hockney, for example, is about an hour long, 45 minutes really. But it's the sort of thing you could probably use for Hulu and chill or whatever it is that kids do these days. The Why Art and What is Beauty, that's going to be important for the discussion Art in Society. So make sure that you're watching those. And then here's the assignments. We have a visual arts quiz, which is basically if you watch the lectures, this should be a cakewalk. There's a photo assignment, which you will find under Dropbox, and there's Art in Society, which is a discussion. And you'll see here as I go to sculpture and dance, it's the same thing. There's a quiz, and then there's an interpretation. In D2L, Dropbox has everything that you need in terms of assignments. All of your reviews will be put in the Dropbox. Here's for your exams, and this is for your weekly activities. There will be more added as I develop the course further. And I'll be working a few weeks ahead of you, so it shouldn't be a problem. Quizzes are listed under quizzes, and again, should be pretty straightforward in terms of what you're being asked to do. Almost all the questions will be multiple choice or true false. Occasionally there will be a short answer, but it's generally true false, multiple choice, and I do not generally use Lockdown Browser because I just run into too many problems with it. So that should take care of most of the information that you need to start in the course. Make sure that you're going through everything as you move forward, and if you miss an assignment, it's going to be a problem, because if you don't go into the assignment and do something with it, you won't be able to move on to the next week's material. So make sure you're keeping up with the class. You should take around 4 to 6 hours per week on this course, which would be pretty standard for a college course. You could spend up to 9 weeks if it's a particular 9 hours if it's a particularly difficult section, but it shouldn't be. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, quarrels, qualms, quandaries, curse words, please email me at lidkeyc@uww.edu. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week.